and welcome to this 7 steps to improve your baby's sleep and your sanity. This is so important for you to get right and have the help and support that you need so that you can really enjoy your baby's first few years, and especially those first few months, which are so influential. And this is the time when you're learning so much, the learning curve is so steep, and you're bombarded with information, and you hear different things being told to you, there's all these different techniques that you're told that you should try. Then you may go on the internet and you may read about something else and you think, oh, I wonder if I should try that. But then your health visitor or your friend or your mother or your sister may tell you something different. And all this does is it leads you to a place of confusion, and then the self-doubt creeps in. So by going through this program, I want to help you overcome all this doubt and any fear or uncertainty, so that you've got a clear path to follow and know that you're doing the right thing for yourself and your baby. And together we'll create this wonderful foundation for you to build upon. And this is, as I say, this is so important. So the first part of this program involves looking at setting that firm foundation. And in order to do that, we need to look at the environment. So that's the physical environment, the emotional environment, and the practical environment that your baby is growing up in. So the first part that I talk to parents about and have designed, which is also found in my book, is about looking at your own parenting style. Now, not many people talk about parenting styles or really even consider what kind of parent they're going to be. So I've actually created 4 different parenting styles, and these are, firstly, the dolphin, the cat, the tiger, and the kangaroo. Now, you may be starting to picture what that kind of parent might be doing. You may have already identified what style of parent you are just from those descriptions, but I go into more detail with these. So the ideal parenting style that we want to work towards, and is what I teach my clients to aspire to, is to become the dolphin parent. The dolphin is the type of parents that is able to sort of duck and dive and smooth over things, and they can, take on board challenges, and they can get past things and then find that smooth running life again and overcome any hurdles or any dangers that might pop up. But they recognise it, they deal with it, and then they overcome it. And they're the kind of parents that you may have seen out and about and think, gosh, how do they do that? How do they get their baby to settle so easily? How is it that their day flows so well? Well, as we go through this program, you're going to learn more about it, and you can become the dolphin parent. But that might not be quite right for you right now. So I want you to hear about the other parenting styles. So the second type of parent that we're going to talk about is the cat parent. So the cat parent is, as you can imagine, the type of parent who may be a bit soft, very kind-hearted and loving towards their child. But sometimes this parent is so giving and forgiving, and is so protective towards their child that they sometimes can neglect their own needs. They want to just make their child so happy and perfect. They don't want to hear their baby cry. Well, obviously nobody wants to hear their baby cry, but at the same time, some crying in a baby is natural. It's their only way of communicating. So if you're always trying to sort of rush in and stop your baby crying, you're not actually allowing them to develop in the way that they need to work out, their own needs. So obviously in a very tiny baby, you need to be very close to them and attending to them. But as your baby grows, then you need to start bringing in a little bit of distance between you and your baby, and start communicating to reassure your child that they are actually okay, and sometimes they can actually figure things out for themselves, and the more you can build on that, the more confidence you'll gain, and your child will also find that they're more independent as well. So the third type of parent is the tiger parent. So as you can imagine, this is the type of parent that may be a bit impatient, a real clock watcher, likes to have strict rules and routines, and can get upset if things don't go according to plan. It throws them off course. So again, with each of these styles, there is going to be an overlap, and you may have traits of one and then traits of another. But when you actually really define it and you align your parenting style with your partner's, that's when you'll find that everything starts to flow. And the last parenting style I'm going to talk about is the kangaroo. And again, I'm sure many of you mums will be able to relate to that. Now, this is the type of parent that stays very close by to their child and is always holding them, or maybe has them in a sling, and they just like that close connection. And like I say, that is so important in those first few weeks, for you to build that bond with your child. But as your child grows, sometimes parents can find it quite suffocating, because then your child can become needy or overly wanting you or your attention all the time. And so when you get to this point, it can be very exhausting. And so sometimes parents can start off thinking, oh, I want to be this style of parent, but then realise that it doesn't actually suit them, or they can't maintain things. So then they switch to another, and that's okay. And this is, if this is your first year as a parent and it's your first baby, you're going to find things are going to change. The more you learn, the more you educate yourself, the better you're going to be able to respond to your child and actually know what is right for you and your baby. So I hope that's given you a good idea of the 4 different parenting styles. So I'll just go over those again. So the first one is the one that we want to really aspire to, which is the dolphin, who finds life easy, has flexibility, a bit of routine, and can take on board anything that's sort of thrown up at them. You know, they'll deal with it and then they'll get on, and it won't be a sort of complete disaster. And you know, they do have their up and down days, but mostly life flows and it's all smooth running, and they're feeling in control. The second type of parent is the cat. These tend to be soft hearted, they giving quite easily to their children, and these parents can often give and give and give, and then they get to a point where they just snap because their child has sort of pushed them too far. And then obviously you pull back and regret your actions. So that is the cat, and as I say, sometimes they can regret what you know, their actions, and so sometimes they need to toughen up a little. And but they don't want to be as strong, as forceful as the tiger parent. So the tiger parent is very strict on routines and feels really uncomfortable if things go a little bit off schedule, and they can put an awful lot of pressure on themselves, and not only themselves but the people around them. And you know, sometimes if those routines aren't realistic, it can really put pressure on your baby or toddler as well. So be really conscious of the actions and the kind of type of personality you are, and whether what the parenting style you've chosen is right for you and your child. And the last type of parenting style is the kangaroo, and as I say, this is a parent that keeps their child very close to them. They tend to be very protective, and you know, this is all fine and it's great, but as your baby grows, you want them to be a little bit more independent and teach them to sort of go and do a few things on their own, or you know, be on their own or on the floor for a few minutes whilst you get on with some jobs or whatever. But you can't always be there for your child, and sometimes you have to kind of like step back, but everything is a learning process, and we're going to be going through all the other elements that you need to be aware of to reach that sleep success and retain your own sanity. So that's the end of video 1, and I will be back here with the next video. So I will see you again soon. Thank you.